At the same time, the search for 3 missing people continues in the Western Cape's Overberg Municipality. It's as the Breede River's water levels remain worryingly high. For more on that story, we're joined by the Overberg Disaster Management's Reinard Geldenhuys. Reinard, good evening. Thanks for your time. So firstly, let's talk about the situation then that you continue to deal with tonight in the Overberg as a result of the aftermath of the storm.
Hi there, yes. All right, so tonight I'm happy to report that levels in the Breede River is going down slightly. There are still areas cut off and we are still monitoring very closely, but those guys are well organized and they know the drill. So we're less concerned about them. Then the search there's a search on the go for 2 missing people. The one person we have found and unfortunately deceased. There is still a big search on the go for the person that got washed away off the N2. So that is still ongoing, and the police diving unit and police recovery unit is busy with that. And then also we're busy with relief efforts through various parts of the town from the Overberg. In providing food in areas like Arneson and cut-off areas. And I know Overstrand is also working very hard to get their infrastructure up in order with the whale festival coming and so on. And then the other thing is the roads. Many of our roads have been damaged, and the biggest one, of course, the N2. The engineers were out there this afternoon, but they can't do anything until the water level has dropped. So, yeah, that's a few of the things that we're dealing with.
How would you say that the damage to infrastructure is impacting the search, in particular for the missing people?
It's not a big impact. Yes, the water is still very strong. I haven't been on site with the divers. I don't think they're doing a water search. I think they're doing a land-based search. But so it's not a big impact, and it's in an area of the river. But obviously, the problem with that type of search is the debris. You can imagine if a chunk of the N2 I think it's around about 11 to 12 meters deep was washed away, then it's very easy for a car to be washed under and a person to be stuck in the branches and that type of thing. So that does make it difficult in that respect, yeah.
Let's talk about then that damage to infrastructure and the extent to which it's impacting access. Are you satisfied at this point that you've been able to reach all parts of your area?
Everyone that we have had reported to us that's either trapped, we cleared the last of the list probably about half an hour ago, where we know people are trapped and people got access to. So as we speak, we have no one on our priority list that's actually trapped or in danger, definitely not in danger, but also without food and so on. So we're comfortable with that at this stage. We do have air support from the Air Force available now, so we can access if necessary, but right now there's no need. The areas cut off at Geldenhuys and so on, that's being dealt with in other ways. So we're comfortable right now that we've reached everyone that needs to be reached. But obviously, as people make contact and so on, we will deal with it.
Reinard, speak to us about the extent of resources that you've had to deploy just to try again and ensure that every resident that needs support to either get to safety, to be rescued in this moment, has actually been able to get that assistance.
I think we're fortunate that we live in the Western Cape and that we have the resources and the organized structures available that we do. And that I don't want to say it's a well-oiled machine, and I said to someone, we were overwhelmed, but we coped. And the reason why we could cope is because of the good working relationship between different organizations, right from the provincial disaster management to the district disaster management centers to the local municipalities. The local municipalities in our area did extremely well and worked very hard to reach points where they could. But also, we could deploy the police, EMS, NSRI at the drop of a hat. So there's no barriers that we have to break down first. We can phone a person and say, I need a rescue team at Greyton. And a team from Struisbaai runs all the way to Greyton, the NSRI team, and get the people to safety. An EMS team can deploy. Our social development department working with the likes of Heal Our Nation, Gift of the Givers, that type of thing. Those are relationships that are built over the years and through constant planning, meeting, talking to each other, looking at the scenarios, planning for the scenarios. That's the way we manage to cope with these type of disasters.
So as things stand, it sounds like the situation is relatively stable. What then become your priority areas sort of going into tonight and the rest of the next 24 hours?
Well, tonight's last focus, as we're doing Sunset, is trying to get telecommunication systems back up. Obviously, there are some of the areas, as I said, Overstrand is trying to get their water systems back up and so on. So it's recovery. It's very much recovery operations and also, damage assessment. We don't know what the impact on agriculture is. The roads departments need to do complete assessments and so on. So it's to get the roads clear. The roads departments are working very hard on that, to get access, to get damage assessments, and then to see where we are.
What have residents had to say to you, Reinard, during these rescue missions, those that, have been waiting hours just for somebody to finally be able to reach them?
Some complain, but 99.9% of the people that we reach are very grateful. A lot of people, I must say, are surprised that we managed to get to them and that we managed to get them out to a place of safety and are very grateful. So obviously, unfortunately, there will always be opportunists that will use that will use this for their own benefit and gain, but 99.9% of our people are very grateful and happy that we could assist.
Look, it's still early days yet, but I'm sure there will be an opportunity for us to talk about some of the lessons that you believe you've been able to learn from the response to this disaster.